Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome here if you are new. In today's video, I am going to be showing you the easiest and best recipe to make elk steak teriyaki. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just measuring out 2 cups of rice and rinsing it well. The reason you wanna do this, it takes all of the starch out and you're able to get sticky rice from any kind of rice you'd like to use. So I give it a good rinse and then I'm gonna let it sit for 30 minutes because you want your rice to soak. Once it's done soaking, go ahead and put it into your Instapot and measure out the same amount of water. Give it a stir, stick your Instapot lid on, make sure that it's on high pressure, and then set your Instapot for 9 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna get started with mixing our elk steak in a little bit of cornstarch just to give it kind of a crust. I do this with half of it since this is the first time I'm making this. I also marinated the elk steak in my teriyaki sauce, which I'll leave in the description box below. So I'm just taking it, putting it onto a plate after I'm done. And then I'm gonna heat my pan, my wok actually, with oil. And I just use vegetable oil here. And then I'm gonna let that heat up and I'm gonna be making my teriyaki sauce. To make my teriyaki sauce, I just combine soy sauce, ginger, garlic, and brown sugar, and then I also add water to it so the soy sauce isn't so salty. I'll whisk all of that up, and like I said before, the recipe will be in my description box below. This teriyaki sauce always turns out amazing every time, and it is perfect for chicken, just over rice, anything like that. So now I'm just gonna fry up the elk steak in the oil, and I just wanna constantly move it around. That way it doesn't stick to the pan because you can see it kind of starts to stick to my pan. Once it's brown, you're gonna take it out and just put it onto a plate with a paper towel. It really doesn't take more than like 5 minutes to cook this steak, especially if you cut it thin like I did. And the next batch, like I said, I just didn't do in the cornstarch. I only put it into the oil and I really couldn't tell a difference. So if you want to do the extra step with the cornstarch, you can, but you don't have to. And I also got my teriyaki sauce heating up in a pan so that I can thicken it up with cornstarch and water. It's just a little paste that you make. You put it in your teriyaki sauce and it thickens it right up. So I'm gonna take out the first batch of meat after it's cooked, and you can totally tell just by looking at it when it's done. This steak was so tender, it was like melting in my mouth. And then I'm just gonna put the next batch straight into the oil, and I had to taste it, you know, because as a person who's cooking, you always have to taste your work. So I'm just gonna dump the next batch just straight from the bag into the pan and fry that up as well, and then we're gonna start working on the teriyaki sauce. While the meat is cooking, you constantly wanna be whisking that teriyaki sauce because it will burn super, super fast. Once it heats up to a little bit of a boil, you're gonna wanna go ahead and add in your cornstarch and water mixture. It's usually about a tablespoon and maybe 1/8 of a cup of water, just enough to get it thickened. All right, moving on to the teriyaki sauce. I'm still kind of taste testing this elk steak because it's amazing, but I'm just gonna whisk and then I'm gonna get my cornstarch, add that in there, whisk it some more, and then you wanna whisk it until it turns like a golden brown, dark brown color. You'll be able to tell when it's done. It'll be nice and thick and golden brown. Then I'm just gonna add my meat back into my wok and put a little bit of the sauce and kind of toss it around in there just so it's coated in the sauce. And then we are gonna check on the rice and make sure that's done and then plate this dish up. As you guys can see, the rice is literally perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take an ice cream scoop because I'm trying to be fancy and make the little rice balls like they do at the restaurant. Plate that up. I'm going to put the steak on, drizzle everything in teriyaki sauce, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.